how was that overseas trip for you, and not just from a basketball standpoint, but maybe helpful from a team bonding standpoint?
Gosh, with everything going on, it'd be nice to be able to do it every year. As you incorporate new pieces, it was great. I think 13 of our 15 players had never been outside the continental United States. And to do something like that, we were supposed to do it my first year. I didn't want to do it then with everything going on. And then COVID, and then Virginia Tech didn't want us to do it in year 3. I certainly understood that. So we had an opportunity to do it, and it was great. We have an alum that's a very good friend that has lived in Switzerland for many years, from Daleville, of all places. Been over there for many years, and it was great. There was a time earlier in my career I would do it for the 10 practices. Now with the rules as they are, you can practice, but you have the opportunity to practice quite a bit during the summer. So, but we did have 10 practices that we treated it much like the start of the regular season. That was helpful. That was meaningful. The trip itself was good. But as I've told a couple others, it's nice to be back in Blacksburg.
Between the overseas trip and the summer workouts, what maybe have you learned about your team that you didn't know back in, say, May?
We're deeper, Mark. This is the deepest team that we've had, and that is certainly positive. I think it's going to be one of those years, and I've had a couple where what you look like in terms of your rotation early in the year will be far different from what your rotation looks like in January or February, as people emerge, as different combinations present themselves as you go along. Encouraged. I'm looking forward to kicking it off in earnest here in late September.
And finally, I guess you played 2 games, I believe, on the overseas trip. Was that helpful at all to learning about your team, or was it more about a team chemistry?
I think I could have played. I think we could have played you and Teal, David Cunningham, Van Wagener, and gotten more out of the 2 competitions than we got out of those 2 games over there, which is typical. Went to Brazil once and played 3 really good teams, but typically, they're in a holiday season over there. When we got there in Italy, that is, teams are all spread out across the country or in other countries, and they're really just throwing something together. We played 2 legitimate teams, but the competition was not great. I've never done it, Mark. I've never done it for those games. I've done it for the practices. I've done it for the opportunity. How many kids at Virginia Tech and across the country have the opportunity? Both my children have or are going to this year. I have had the opportunity to study abroad. We don't have that luxury because of for obvious reasons. To give them that type of experience in 2 great countries. We didn't spend a lot of time in Italy. We were in Milan for a day, and we bounced around a little bit, but it was, when these guys come back in 10 years, 15 years, one of the first things they reference is that tour, and those are always a lot of fun to be a part of, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to do it with this year's team.
David Teal.
Mike, you said you're deeper across the board, every position?
Deeper across the board, David, and some pieces, David, that I can move Barron down. I think we'll do that some. Tyler Nickel can play. He will play the 3, but could certainly play the 4. He's got good size. Rodney Rice gives us great flexibility. Can play any of the 3 guard spots. I do expect he and Padula to be on the floor together quite a bit. We're bigger. This is the biggest Virginia Tech team I've had, and we are deeper. And with that depth comes a more versatility than I even first expected looking at it on paper.
You mentioned Barons and Nickel. How have the transfers as a group meshed with your returnees?
Very, very well. Now they're both coming from really good programs. They've both been coached. They both know what they're looking at. Barron played a lot of basketball out there, and Chris Collins is exceptional. So for them to be able to hit the ground running, it's been that part of it's been easy for them because they're good basketball players, and again they have been coached. So, and they're both really, really fine young people. Great to be on the floor with, easy to coach, have a grasp of what you're trying to install. So all good.
If memory serves, Northwestern was one of the better defensive teams nationally last season. How big a part of that was Barons, and how do you see him as a defender?
He's really good, David. He's really good. Now Mutz was elite on that end, but Robbie Barron will offer us the opportunity to switch a number of things. Ball screen coverages, keep us out of rotation. He will be a real asset in that regard. They were one of the better defensive teams in the country. We were not, and that is that's a real source of concern around here, and something we spent even more time on this summer than in years past. So we're going to have an uptick in that area. We have to.
Ryan Way.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Ryan, I'm well. Hope you are. Good to see you.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Your picture.
I know I have like the worst connection known to mankind, but for video. But Coach Hunter, what kind of role is he going to play? And in terms of experience and leadership, what does he bring this season for you personally?
Ryan, I don't know that his role is going to be any different. He's had a significant role here going back to his freshman year. He has assumed, and we need for him to assume an even greater leadership role. They have great respect for him because of the work that he puts in, the player that he's been here for a long time now. But I don't see how it works out. May average another shot a game, 2 shots a game. I don't know the answer to that, but old reliable. He's been a terrific player for us defensively. I think led the ACC in 3-point field goal percentage a year ago. I wanted him back for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is his just what he's meant to me and to Virginia Tech basketball throughout his time. And fortunate that it worked out, and it's quite the luxury. I just looked over the rail before we got onto this, and he's down there, and he'll be up here in just a minute. And he typically comes in, and we talk about a lot of different things, not about basketball. I think the world of him, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to coach him during his 5th year.
Chris Arden.
Coach, what do you feel like your lineup might look like with?
Hey, Chris, I'm telling you. Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Well, I just mean last year you didn't have full scholarships. This year you feel like you're deeper. I feel like you're more versatile. There's guys who can play multiple positions. How long do you think you're going to test guys out in different positions? What do you think it looks like with the team, just with how minutes might be divided up?
I referenced this to our team. I'll come back to that point. I really, I really and truly, Chris, 10 practices and playing over there a little bit. I've still got a lot of things in the air, and it's going to take me a bit to get my arms around it. I will. I can remember one of my best teams in 2010. I had a kid transfer from Wayne State, Division II in Nebraska, I think. We went to Pittsburgh that first game, got a couple of tough calls down the stretch and lost. But Jamar played 8 minutes in that game, didn't score. 8 games later, we had South Carolina home. We beat them, and he played 34 minutes and couldn't take him off the floor. And that's the way and I think there's going to be situations like that, maybe not that dramatic, those minutes, but we've got a lot of things to get to and a lot of interesting lineups that I'm looking forward to, seeing, more of. Those 2 scrimmages will be a big deal. We've got Liberty at home, Richmond on the road. So it beats the alternative. Last year was hard, very hard. You go a cluster of games with Padula's the only point guard I've got. I can't get him off the floor, and I hurt him by having to go that route. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
And I know you said competition wasn't great over there, but Long came in late after some summer classes. You got the freshmen, you got the transfers. They haven't played that much together. Was there anything surprising that you learned over there just from how the guys mesh together?
Every time Tyler Nichols shoots it, I think it's going in. MJ Collins is playing much better basketball for us. Rodney Rice has had a great summer. Not a good summer, a great summer. I could go on and on, Chris. I really could. Mackay, he had to, I don't know the exact educational term, confirm, or we had to have something, I's dotted, T's crossed here for him graduating from Old Dominion before we could get him here. So that took us a little bit. He did go with us. He did not. I don't think he practiced. I don't think he practiced that last day, but he was with us. He played in our second game and had 14 rebounds. Now again, he's good in that area. He's got a real nose for it. But we weren't playing the Pistons. I can assure you of that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Chris. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you had a good summer.
Go back to Mark.
Since you touched on the transfers, how about anything catch your eye this summer about Brandon and Jaden, the freshmen?
Yeah, they're good players, Mark. They're really good players. And those practices aid those young people, as much as anyone, because they're it's so new to them. The terminology, how we play. Both those guys had good moments and are going to be really good players around here. How much are they going to play this year? I don't know the answer to that yet. Are they going to have the opportunity to? Yes, they will. They're talented. Both have been coached. Freddie Johnson at Greensboro Days won over 1,000 games. Jaden Young knows what he's doing and is a darn good basketball player. So, time will tell. Again, I've said it a couple of times. I'm really looking forward to getting into it and putting it all together, and that'll be a great deal of fun for me.
And I'd be remiss, since we're talking about trips. Obviously, earlier in your Tech career, you got to go to Maui. Just kind of your how tough has it been to kind of see what's happened to Maui in recent weeks?
I can't, just devastating, and it's like I read something every day about the struggles that those good folks are going through. People lost homes, people lost lives. I don't know if the gym, I can't imagine the gym where we played is still there. The gym where we played was in Lahaina. So, have thought a lot about those folks. That's a really, really hard situation. It's so terribly unfortunate.
Did you guys get to experience Lahana when you were over there, or was it just basically the gym and back?
Yeah, we stayed in Maui. We were, I think, at the Hyatt, but it was a very quick 15-minute, 20-minute bus ride over to Lahana. We didn't spend any time other than going over to play in Lahana. Of course, you're aware as you're going in, and it was glorious. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. I'd never wanted to go because of how long the flight was. And then our first afternoon there, the reception area is an open air, and here's the water, and and I'm walking with my wife, and I said to her, I said, you know what, I've never wanted to do this, but now that we're here, I'll come back again next week if they wanted me to. It's just it's a great place, and just wonderful, wonderful people, and to see again what they're having to live through, and has been hard for a lot of us.
Jermaine
Farrell, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, Coach. How about you, sir?
Never been better, buddy.
Good deal, sir. Two quick questions, a two-part question. Number one, when you take a team over for these summer overseas trips, what's the biggest thing you're looking for, and what do you hope to get out of these games that you participate in over there?
To spend as much time as possible as we can together, and gaining a familiarity. And we've got Barron, Nickel, Makai Long as transfers, Brandon Recksteiner, Jaden Young. We've got a walk-on that's new. So 6 new people, and for them to share and walk the streets of Milan and Lugano in Switzerland, eat together, is quite meaningful. And then the educational piece, to experience a different culture, to meet different people, to compete in another country. There's so many great things that come out of it, and has always been my experience. I think that was the 6th time I've had the opportunity to do it, and this one was as fine as any I've been a part of. So great fun.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Jermaine.
David Cunningham.
Yeah, Mike, you said Rodney had a great summer. What defined a great summer for Rodney? What about it?
Well, I say that probably as much for me as for Robbie. He's played so much basketball in the Big Ten. He's Rodney. I'm sorry.
Rice.
Sorry, I thought you said Robbie.
No, you're good.
I don't hear very well anymore, David. Just ask my wife. He lost a lot of weight last year because of everything. He's not working out as much as he should because he had the ankle injury and then the finger. So we were able to get him up to 205, and he looks great. Shooting the ball at a very high clip. To see him and Couture and Padula on the floor together, see him at the top of the floor playing a point with MJ Collins, and maybe moving Padula off the ball some. Again, a lot of things I want to see, a lot of things I want to get to, and we'll start putting the big pieces of it together starting September 25th.
What has impressed you about the 3-headed monster of Lynn and Malijal and Patrick, and what they've been able to do, and how they've been able to grow over the summer?
Malijal doesn't have any more precaution than anything. He did not practice. He did not play. He's in good shape. He's ready to go. That was out of an abundance of caution with him, because he's had some leg problems in his career. He's such a big old body. I think as we did so often a year ago, David, and what will it be? Will it be 12 points and 8 rebounds whatever it is, we were able to get great contributions from that spot. Elijah Poteet had 16 points against Pittsburgh. Lynn Kidd had some very good moments for us throughout the course of the year, as did Elijah. And you sit people for a number of reasons. One, you don't expect them to play a lot. You don't want to burn that year. I thought Patrick Wessler was in that category, but those big ones. I heard Paul Webb say it 30 years ago: never give up on big ones. This kid has worked and he's gotten stronger. His core strength's better. He's changing direction better. He's going after balls out of his area better. He can really shoot the ball. He's skilled. So I'm very pleased and encouraged with his progress, and I'm convinced that Patrick Wessler can help our team win.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, David.
Go back to Ryan.
I just wanted to kind of see.
Ryan, you broke up.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I was just curious on MJ Collins. You said that he's kind of been taking his game to another level. I mean, what have you seen, and what are you also seeing off the court in terms of leadership from that young man?
He's smart and he's about the right stuff. Ryan, I've always thought the biggest jump for the majority of the players that I've been with in my career, the biggest jump you'll see is between their freshman and sophomore year. Now, he was thrust into a position last year that he played a lot more than I expected him to play out of necessity. And I always said to our staff a year ago, every rep this kid gets is going to aid him as we move along. He's more confident. He's got a great understanding of how we play. He's a very, very good defender. He's just gotten better, and I think in large part because of the experience that he was able to get a year ago, and the number of minutes we were forced to play.
Last question to David Teal.
Mike, you mentioned improvement defensively being a necessity. Who beyond Robbie do you think can help you there? And given what VCU was defensively under Mike, can JD help there?
Yeah, JD's been great. JD's spending a lot of time over there, and we're talking about different things. I've got to do a better job. We've had great defensive teams. We were 139 nationally a year ago, David. That's embarrassing. I know what we're going to get from Couture. I know what we're going to get from Rice. I know what we're going to get from Barron. Sean Padula is a very good basketball player. He's got to make strides here defensively, and did this summer. Not so much on the ball. He's very good on the ball. It's away from the ball that he can sometimes lose it on us, and that can't happen. We're very capable. Rodney Rice, very capable defender, and just day by day emphasis, and we're going to be much improved in that area. I think, David, the depth will play a part in that as well. Kids that have the opportunity, ability to play longer, harder, and that's a real point of emphasis. And JD has already helped us a great deal. Now our styles are different. We're not up the floor a whole lot, but what JD's doing for us in the half court has been quite impressive.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
All right, thanks everyone.
Good to see everybody. Wish you well. Go Hokies.